Okay, so now we have our clean bolt, we have our clean carrier, and then we have our clean accessories here. So let's go ahead and reassemble. So we're going to take our bolt, and we want the extractor to be pointed that way, where the gas exits. And then when we're inserting the bolt here, we want to work it in, move it back and forth, just so we do not damage the gas rings here. Because if you push them in, you could damage them. So what you want to do is you want to work them back and forth until it smoothly gets in there, until the piston smoothly moves in there. And then next, line up your cam pin. And then this one, the cam pin is nice because it is marked. Obviously, this flat side goes forward like that. But there's only one way to insert this. So flat side is going to be up, just like that. And I get the flat side pointed forward, like so. Next, we're going to insert our firing pin. Let's install the firing retainer pin. On the specific pin, the legs are a little bit too wide. It's supposed to be like this, a little bit tighter. So what we have to do is orientate the pin sideways, press down, so apply downward pressure, and wiggle it side to side. And just like that, we have a fully put together bolt carrier group. And then lastly, let's just do a gas ring test. You might want to do this first, not last, but just make sure it does not collapse under its own weight, and it looks good. So that is how you clean a bolt carrier group. And again, it is not perfect. There is dirty spots on here. It is not perfectly clean. But the most important parts are we have these major wear areas cleaned up. All of these rails where it meets with the upper receiver, there's 4 points here. Those are all cleaned. So there's going to be a lot more, there's going to be a lot less friction there. Same where the carrier meets the firing hammer, or the hammer, right? The trigger hammer. This area is smoothed up and there's not going to be extra friction there. And then the same with the bolt moving inside the carrier. There's nothing obstructing that. That is nice and smooth. And then also with the firing pin, we made sure that's cleaned up, and that is nice and smooth as well. So everything here is working just as it should, and it is looking just fine. So that's how you do that. Next, let's go ahead and clean a charging handle here. This is a Radian Raptor charging handle. And what I like to do is start with my 12 gauge patches here. And this is pretty dirty, so I did 2 dabs. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe all that carbon off. So in this ridge inside here, I like to just fold it, kind of stuff it in there, and then run it back and forth like that. And that is an excellent way to clean that out. Rub the back there. Just make sure we get all sides. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we just want to get the big stuff off and just make sure it's nice and smooth and lubed up here. So there's one. And then for those finer areas, I like to take a Q-tip, get some cleaner on there, and then you can just get in there where the gas tube goes. I don't do this every single time, but if it gets really dirty, that's good to do. And just like that, that thing is as clean as it needs to be. It's not perfect, but it'll work. Me being the dummy I am, I forgot to record me cleaning this upper, but essentially, you're just going to take your patches and your Q-tips and rub all these edges and get all that carbon off of there. And a few points that I like to really get into are down where the charging handle is. I like to kind of clean in this area around where the barrel is, where the barrel chamber meets. I like to clean the feed ramps, and then just kind of the best I can in the chamber a little bit, and then all of these ridges where the bolt carrier will mate with the upper. Just make sure those are nice and clean. Rub those off, and I just generally like to go around and wipe the excess carbon off of the upper, and get it cleaned up, just like so. Finally, once I'm done with everything, I like to take a clean patch and just rub over these areas where the gun is just a little messy, you know, where I've been touching it, and just make sure everything is cleaned up there. And then this is the result of me cleaning the bolt, the carrier, the upper, all these patches, all of these Q-tips. So as you can see, it does get pretty dirty, and there is a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned out, but it allows you, you know, at a relatively cheap price to clean your upper receiver group. So there we go. So if you guys have any tips or tricks on how to clean your bolt or your carrier or your upper, please leave them in the comments. And I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And then real quick here, I wanted to show you guys what my cleaning supplies looks like. And I like to keep everything in one of these ammo cans just to keep the smell in there and keep everything nice and airtight and all that good stuff. So here we have bore cleaner. I don't use this very often, but I like to have it. We have our hops number 9. We have our 12 gauge patches. We have 22 caliber patches for, you know, 5.56 and whatnot. And then I have spare Q-tips. And everything fits in here nicely just like that. And then if you're going to go on like the road or like a road trip or to a course or whatever you're doing, all you got to do is grab this and you're good to go. So just like that, all your cleaning supplies in one spot.